Wait, we get to see Roy.
Yeah,
6
waiting.
foot Roy, huh?
30 seconds. 6 foot Roy. I gotta turn my music off so I can hear the ArenaNet music.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Oh, I hear Roy.
Welcome, everybody, back to another episode of 2 Sweatshirts and 1 T-shirt. My name is Roy Marks, and I'm joined today by none other than Cal CMC Cohen and Taylor Trigg Brooks. Gentlemen, hope you're doing well today. How goes it?
Closet
I
NG
can't read
main?
our titles. Can you say what the titles are right now?
Professor of Yapology,
Okay,
professional role player.
Yeah, well, we're back.
NG.
You know, it's been a while. When was the last stream? It was like last year, right?
Yeah, last year wasn't that long ago, to be fair,
That's
but
true.
it's been a little bit.
We didn't do a stream for January, as we mentioned in the blog post or the forum post at the time. It was like just a bunch of small changes. I don't think anyone wants to, sit in the chat and watch us read, hey, we nerfed this number because it's too high, and we increased this number because it's too low. But, maybe they do. So feel free to get
I could watch Roy read the whole paragraph
feedback.
of the start of Guild Wars 2 till now.
Taylor, how are you today?
I could see.
Doing pretty good. Already couldn't hear Cal for like 5 seconds.
Nice.
That's
boding
well.
Nice.
I'm ready to do this stream.
It's something on your guys' end, surely, not mine, because everything I do is flawless. Yes.
I'm getting outside information. There's a typo in one of the titles.
Well, fortunately, we're going to swap over to the PowerPoint notes and not worry
March
about that
balance
typo,
preview
so
and you
that's
weapon
good. Whoever set
profish.
those up must have been in a rush this morning or
Is
something. Anyways, we are going to be talking about
It's already scuffed,
not
man.
only the bounce preview notes for the next upcoming bounce patch in March, but we also are going to be talking about the updates we've been doing for the QR2 weapons. There was a blog post released this week that went over that, but we'll be showing off a couple of them and talking about them a little bit more today on the stream.
All right, let's go,
Very,
baby.
very well written.
Staff warrior, baby.
We haven't yet figured out who wrote it, but maybe they'll show up at some point.
Well, they may have introduced themselves in the blog post.
Pretty good wordsmith, if anyone.
Obviously, I'll take credit for assigning the task to Taylor, but he may have to write more blogs in the future because he did too good of a job. Unfortunate.
Indeed. As always, the forum post, will be coming up after the end of the stream with all of the notes that you'll be seeing here today. And then also at the end of the stream, or after this stream,
I love
should say,
Roy's
we'll
blank
be
wall.
over to be doing a little bit of a podcast on twitch.tv/GW2. It's one of our ArenaNet partners.
Wow.
Oh, wait, they're going on
discussing
Jebro's
the QR2,
podcast?
Weapon updates.
What the fuck, bro? Where's our podcast?
After this stream ends.
Bro, we're
So
not
you should check that out.
important.
Dude, we don't
I'm
have
also not
one.
a
Other than
partner.
that, I guess we can just jump right into it.
We don't have one either.
All right,
That
let's do
sounds
it.
good
It's
to
your
you
fault.
guys. All right, let's do it. What a
My
winning
fault.
endorsement from Cal. We're going to start off with Elementalist, and this is, of course, going to be Cal's realm. So we got a couple of sword improvements. We've got a arcane skills rework and some support Tempest heal buffs, which Cal will be talking about here.
Yes, obviously starting with the most important sword buff to Water Trident. But who organized these notes as well? Oh, I forgot to say something actually at the start of the stream that I was going to say. So
right,
we'll get into these notes in a second.
Wow.
You didn't say anything.
What's going on?
What
in
the
this- in this-
I
Scuffed.
just feel obligated to say that we get this feedback basically every time. I see it on social media every time. But Roy and I do not hate each other, and all of the people on this call are actually really good friends.
We've said this every stream.
And there might be a little bit of playful ribbing, and so we just like to have fun on the stream. But believe it or not,
I'm forced to be here.
There's no bad blood on the stream.
We like to have fun. We like to have fun here.
There might be like some.
Not sure what's going on.
feigned
I feel like this guy in the middle is a
outrage
third
for
wheel, bro.
comedic Value, but we don't
feel
take
bad for
ourselves
him.
too seriously. Just wanted to throw that out.
That's why they put him in the
I've seen
middle.
that, like the last 5
True.
streams we've done, someone always says, "Man, I can't believe Roy and Cal just hate each other
See,
so much,
the
and they keep doing this."
The problem is that I'm extremely sarcastic, and Cal is extremely dry, and so I think those two clash, and seems like But yeah,
All right,
okay.
anyway,
that was great.
Let's
Great
talk about
interruption, Cal.
balance. Yes.
Thanks.
He's in
Just
ton of
so much-
PvP streams,
That was
really,
not
Pickles?
bad
Which ones?
Anyways, whoa, notes we haven't seen before.
Yes. So Water Trident getting a nice buff. Fresh air, especially Catalyst, was
All right,
that
Water
was
Trident.
fairly dominant for a while, but
That sounds
we
good.
brought it down a bit. It's maybe a little bit under where we'd like to see right now. So a little buff to Water Trident, see if that brings it back to where we want it to be.
Very nice.
And then we do have a few, more minor improvements to sword, but they are hopefully going to be somewhat impactful. We see Earth and Vortex getting a slight cooldown reduction. So more evasion there, a little bit extra mobility with the Polaric Leap change. Rust Frenzy being able to move, maybe just a lot more opportunity to strike your enemies with a skill that is pretty powerful. You know, a lot of bleeding, a lot of damage on that skill.
Absolutely. We move into the arcane stuff.
Also, yeah, we've made some changes to arcane skills.
Oh, is it? That's not
something that's
Trig?
kind of been on our backlog for a while because.
Oh wow, I did
we
not
don't feel
know Trig
arcane
looked like
skills
that.
have, like the best identity as like, hey, these are all skills that are just instant and.
Arcane Wave now leaps to the target area before dealing the damage and now dazes enemies that it strikes.
Reduces the range
feeling to some of the arcane skills and really flesh
and
out the
attack radius,
skill types.
so
We're
they
gonna see some changes to
fine-tuned
the
it.
skills we're going to see is changed
Made
to
it
the
stronger,
trait as well.
basically by 2.
The big note here.
I
is
mean, look at the
probably
power
change to Arcane
coefficient as
Wave.
well.
Instead of just being like, a long range, large circle, instant damage, it is now going to actually be a leap.
Wait,
so you're going to leap.
At least
similar to,
actually
like,
getting.
Shaker animation, leap, smash
Okay.
some element,
It's
some arcane
it's
energy,
fresh air, Ellie, really.
and do some
And
damage, do some
arcane.
daze.
It
This
should
gives
really
us a
sound
chance
fresh
to,
air.
bump up the damage a little bit more, increase the impact of this skill because it is now going to have a cast time. It is going to have that counterplay that it currently doesn't have. Brilliant's going to get a little bit of extra healing if you finish a combo with it. Doesn't care what combo, so you finish a fire field, get a little extra healing. Seems cool.
Seems
Arcane
cool,
power,
bro.
We've retooled this a little bit. It's not going to do the thing where it shares arcane power anymore, but it's also not going to have its ferocity bonus tied to the critical hit stacks. It was just a really weird interaction where each time you hit, you would just deal less and less bonus damage. So now it's just going to give you a flat ferocity bonus. And then
I was getting a lot of like CC
independent of that ferocity
in
bonus.
exchange for a lot of buffs.
Moving into the rework to Elemental Surge.
FA Kata is new
Changing
meta.
back to Arcane Lightning. That was kind of a.
It was
disconnect when
literally
the traits
meta
got
like
merged
6
together,
months
and
ago.
the ferocity bonus is called Arcane Lightning, and the trait is called Elemental Surge, and it's very confusing. Not really confusing.
Wasn't
but
that our
it's not
problem
doing
in the
anything,
season 2 of
element
Road to Plat?
related anymore, so we just took the name Arcane Lightning. Still going to
I
give
mean,
you the
FA Kata's always been
bonus,
strong,
now it's just
but
going to empower each of the arcane
it's been
skills
kind of overshadowed right
individually
now
instead of
by
the same condition bonus that's based on your attunement.
like Deadeye and
This
some
is
of the
something that
other
didn't
roaming
necessarily
classes.
feel like it made as much sense with like Brilliance and Shield, especially the defensive ones. But also the instant emob was
Grand stability when the
very
shield
unhealthy,
expires.
and it didn't
Wow.
use a whole lot, but every time we saw it, it's like this is not something we actually want in the game. So
Extra
now that's
sustain
gonna be
for
specifically
Ellie.
tied to the new Arcane Wave, which has the cast.
A
time, so
lot,
it gonna have
man.
that
You get
emob.
protection, and
Blast
you
is gonna
have
have
stability
blind.
to this.
Arcane Power will give you some extra stacks of that buff. Arcane Brilliance will give you protection, and the big one here, Arcane Shield, will give you some stability when you use it if you have this trait equipped.
That's insane.
Do we see a lot of these skills, with these reworks kind of becoming more present in the meta? Did we see some of these skills already being present in the meta? Is this just something we're going to keep an eye on now that a lot of these skills got adjustments?
Yeah, we see Arcane Blast and PvE just for the damage a lot, and Arcane Shield gets some play in competitive modes already. I'd expect Arcane Wave to be a little more exciting coming out of this change with the movement aspect, the daze, maybe the emob if you go for the trait. It's obviously hard to take that trait when you're competing with a base of Arcana, but maybe there's a cool build to place like a bunch of arcane skills and really wants that trait.
Yeah, I see it
Arcane
very
Brilliance, maybe
gimmicky.
it's
You just
finally
trap
there.
someone
Like,
and
this has
spike
always
them
been a
with
pretty low
damage
cooldown
to kill
spell.
them.
It's obviously not Signet of Restoration, but now it's going to give you like even more healing on top if you finish a combo. So if you finish a water field with this, even if you don't hit anyone, that's going to be a pretty.
Yeah, I mean,
decent
especially
heal.
with the
And if
leap.
you have the trade, it'll give you some prod as well. So, hopefully, it's always hopefully, because it's hard to guarantee anything unless we made the numbers insane for the sake of making them insane, which we don't want to do.
Absolutely. All right, that just about, I believe, wraps up the arcane work there.
Yep, so we got a couple other changes here for quarterly traits. One with air is something we nerfed a long time ago in PvP, specifically for the fresh air build. Because
God,
obviously you
dude,
get a lot more
Grimjack's
triggers of
probably
this when
like
you have fresh air equipped.
just
We're basically reverting the nerf for
smiling
non-fresh air builds. So
hard
Yeah,
right now.
Grimjack's
you're
happy.
taking Bolt to the Heart,
I
you'll
swear
nerf
to God, if you go to the stream right now, he's
full
smiling.
version of one with air.
You
You
can't
can
see
see
him,
his
but
face.
still.
Yeah,
And fresh air will still have the reduced duration.
fucking 3 seconds
And
super
a
speed,
nice little
dude.
bump to healing, upload
Jesus.
healing modifier in the water trait line, 15 to 20. Just give a little extra healing, mostly to support Tempest builds.
And
CMC
speaking of
loves
that,
Ellie's,
Taylor,
bro.
if you want to talk a little bit about the Tempest buffs we've got here, as well as a Weaver buff.
Yeah, Tempest is
Change?
getting some adjustments. So the big one you're going to see here is Lucid Singularity is no longer going to give Alacrity in competitive modes. This is something you're going to see often through these notes. Back last year in the June patch, we increased Alacrity application to a lot of classes, and it made its way into competitive modes. And especially for World vs. World, we're not really happy to see the state of that boon in that game mode. It's kind of gotten out of control. We don't want it to be something that's so easily achieved. And so you're going to see it being taken away from a lot of classes that got it then. But as for other parts of this, Wash the Pain Away is getting some usability improvements to match other healing, like ally heal skills, and just to bump up to Elemental Bastion and World v. World, kind of to help make up for Lucid Singularity losing its strength. We don't expect these changes to be like insane for Tempest, but we do want to give it a nudge in the right direction. And lastly here, we see Bolstered Elements is becoming protection instead of barrier to be a more active defense option, to hopefully, absorb more damage than the barrier would have if used it in the right place.
Absolutely. Very cool. You kind of mentioned a little bit that, this is more of a nudge for Support Tempest. Are we expecting this to sort of put it in a better place in the meta? Are we expecting it to potentially need some more? Again,
Dude, the Wash the Pain Away is kind of wild.
For the future.
Yeah, we're definitely going to keep an eye on it. There are other supports getting adjustments, mostly downward adjustments this patch, and so we want to see how Tempest competes with them, and how everything shakes out before we give it bigger buffs.
Makes sense. All right, that's going to wrap up Elementalist. So we'll be moving on to Engineer, where we're going to see some updates to the Inventions trait line.
Oh, please nerf
some
fucking
power
grenades,
holosmith
please.
buffs in PvE specifically, and some kit and weapon quality of life adjustments. Taylor, if you want to read this first. Over the notes
yeah. Let's see. So Engineer, kind of eclectic things on this slide.
Leave
Oh
nature.
wow, a lot of
is
cooldown
part of a-
reductions in PvP.
Oh,
What's
what?
going on?
Eclectic.
Bro,
That's a good word.
Eclectic. Oh,
fucking
sorry.
Rifle NG is coming back.
Taylor's been doing a lot of New York Times.
I'm
games,
actually not upset with
working
that.
on that vocabulary.
That's true.
Yeah, this is a nice one.
Flu
It's
shot
been a
didn't
while.
really land where we wanted it to when we buffed it as part of the whole power.
I like
augment pistol
rifle.
thing. And so we're increasing the cooldown, but proportionally increasing
Rifle
the
go
damage.
brr,
so hopefully
dude.
it's easier to fit it into a rotation.
Remember
You know, 20
Elixir
seconds is
rifle?
that magic number
Yeah.
to proc
Oh, dang.
fireworks, as everyone loves.
It was wild.
And then
Jump
skipping to the
shot,
bottom,
dude.
we
He
see
just
some sword reworks.
Michael
I
Jordaning
feel like too much
everybody.
of its power budget was put into the cooldown
You're
reset.
postering all
And
these
made it
kids.
so all you wanted to
in
do
PvP.
was
Mod
auto
Mel,
attack,
streamer
so you could
Mel,
get, like,
what's up?
more cooldowns. So we're shifting that off and then just base CDRing some of it. So hopefully you spend less time auto attacking and more time using other skills.
Wow.
And then we see some slight cooldown shaves for rifle and PvP.
Very cool. Couple more.
No, I
sort
like
of
this.
core
I like
NG
this.
changes here, mostly aimed at the kits.
You guys talking about fitting
Yep,
rotations better?
these are all pretty much just quality of
know.
life improvements. Med Blaster, you can now
In
auto attack
conjunction of a
allies
relic.
with it, like other healing autos. Bandage Blast, after we changed it, it was a bit clunky to actually, hit people with it. So we're increasing the hitbox of it, and then the missile velocity and everything.
Still
So
not
that should all
auto-attacks
make the skill
allies.
feel better to use.
can
And then Grenade
attack.
Barrage had a bug where it didn't proc Relic of
He
Fireworks.
was a
and so
PvPer
for
apparently back
power-based,
in the day, bro.
Engineer builds and PvE, that was kind of annoying, so we fixed it.
Very good. Another slide here. This is going to be some Inventions reworks. Cal, if you want to talk about these.
Sure. Yep. Definitely some improvements to the invention trait line. There's some traits that aren't super good and some traits that we don't really want to be good. Bunker Down is one of those. Trait that we kind of nerfed significantly in the past, especially in competitive modes, just due to the trigger being so easy. It's like every time you critically strike, you would do this, which is a bit too free. So we shifted it to be on disable. Any outgoing CC will trigger Bunker Down now, which gives us a little bit more room to make it more
Or
powerful.
just granting
So reducing cooldown,
regeneration.
increasing the mind
to your
damage,
allies.
increasing
It's like-
the bandage healing, Conti cleanse on that bandage now. It
I
should be a bit
I
more-
thought
a
healing
bit closer to where we
engineers
like
were
to see,
already
like, these
strong
Grandmaster,
though in World versus World.
traits.
This just
and
makes them
especially the
stronger,
gameplay
bro.
around them. Mecha Legs also getting a pretty significant rework here. Just getting the resistance on dodge trait that we gave that to Warrior in a previous update, and it's definitely feels good with the right value for like these builds that are a little bit looking to be a little bit more tanky, a little bit more defensive, having access to that resistance on dodge. Pretty solid trigger, and Mecha Legs is kind of a trait that
Yeah, so
wasn't
far, pretty nice
super
changes.
useful anymore. It's kind
Pretty
of
good buffs,
a bit
actually.
dated at this point in time. Automated medical response, kind of similar, where it's another trait where the cooldown is just so radically high because the effect is kind of, very powerful, but also very passive. We've reworked a lot of those traits in the past, so this is similarly just getting an extra regen trigger to play into like the Grandmaster Miner that cares when you have regen.
Okay, Bunker Down I
Is
could deal with.
Inventions
I
a
like that.
specialization we were seeing play, and this is kind of just a way to make it feel a little better to take, or is this kind of trying to get it more?
I like how Roy has to like defer to the questions.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely see
He's a
little bit of
good
mentions.
he's a
Obviously,
good
like,
interviewer.
The prot
Yeah,
trait
yeah, yeah.
is kind of the best one.
I need
can
strong grenades,
super
Tamale.
well
I'm gonna
take a
ban you,
fundamental
sir.
prot application. But as for like, we've
I'm
seen
just
maybe a
kidding.
little bit
I'm not
less
gonna
of
ban
like
you,
the
but
bruiser
why do you
events
have to hurt
play
my feelings like
conventions,
that?
And they do exist still.
Tell
you know,
Tamale,
follow
make sure he's
somewhere
ready
in
for
the
tomorrow's fashion
lists,
show.
I'm sure. But,
He heard you.
Bunker
there.
down, especially,
Yeah,
was
you
just,
heard
like,
me?
not a
Yeah.
trait that saw a lot of play. So we saw this as an avenue to
Yeah, by the way,
rework that
6,000
trait,
gold,
kind of
fashion
improve the
show
trait line in
tomorrow,
general.
EU and A gamers.
Very cool.
I think I have a tweet about that.
Here are the
Laser
aforementioned
disc.
Hollowsmith.
Oh,
buffs
that's
in,
a raid.
just
Yeah,
see
Hollow
numbers
Smith's
up.
getting buffed in PvE.
Take a look at those.
Nothing too crazy.
Yeah,
Usually
the
standard
main
reduce cooldown.
the main goal of this is we want to push Power Hollowsmith to take the ECSU, Enhanced Capacity Storage Unit trait, as their Grandmaster instead of the Overheat, and so we're really kind of cranking the bonuses for the 100% heat. So, Exceed skills are what you want to use for that build.
Yeah, that's I don't
Pretty
need to
straightforward.
Say exactly what you said.
Makes sense. Couple more Hollowsmith notes, as well as one for Mechanist, which is a note we've seen in the past, I believe.
Delete Mechanist,
Potentially.
please.
Possibly
Mech.
somewhere.
Delete it.
Mechanist.
Taylor?
Why Mechanist?
Yeah. So these are kind
Engineer
of going
specialist?
along. These are going along with it, the Particle Accelerator, and then there's two
Hollow chat
adaptive
spec.
traits for Hollowsmith.
Yeah, Hollow
That
Smith
they
is a
worked
good
when
spec.
you
I
pressed
like
the
Hollow Smith a lot.
F5 to leave Forge, but if you pressed a kit instead, you wouldn't get their bonuses, which is very confusing and not how it should work. So it's working now that when you leave Forge, no matter what way, you're going to get their bonuses. And Mechanical Genius, we wanted to see what happens when we make the penalty not as big. We know that it's a minor pain point, and so we're kind of lessening it.
Very good. That'll wrap up our engineer notes. We're going to move on to Guardian, which was, almost a little bit of a struggle because we didn't have Firebrand PvP buffs to talk about this time around.
Wow, you stole my joke. That's
Wow.
crazy.
No, I'm kidding. I don't know what I'm talking about. Cal, any thoughts on Firebrand Guardian for this patch?
Nope. Not anymore. Taylor?
Well, anyways,
nope.
we're going to be looking at
Looks good to me.
some buffs to some underutilized utility skills, as well as some core and willbender trait improvements for Guardian here
Let's see.
in this patch. And Cal, why don't you talk about what's on this page?
Super
Sure.
speed?
Yeah, Feel My Wrath.
No.
I guess
Super speed?
Guardian.
Oh my god.
Obviously, Renewed Focus is a pretty good skill, so it's difficult to take other skills, especially in competitive modes. So Feel My Wrath
Bro.
is pretty useful to give quickness. in
Fucking
PvP. So we are kind of looking for ways to give.
I don't think that'll make a
reasons
difference
to
though.
play
Renewed
it.
Focus will still be
obviously, Renewed
used.
Focus always going to be Renewed Focus.
Always.
But
Always.
Feel My
Yeah.
Wrath, it's going to give quickness, super speed. Is it good enough
Nah.
yet?
I mean, he
Probably
Nope.
literally just says
but
it
then we
now.
can buff it
So,
next patch. Yeah,
Nope.
Tyler's shaking his head.
Will not be good
Oh,
enough.
shaking her head. But Super
Waste.
speed is like interesting enough that we're like, hey, let's try this out
That's a waste of an update.
and see what happens. We'll revisit.
I mean, honestly, you don't have to even
couple of
update
minor
Guardian.
trait mechanical shufflings. Focus mastery. This is a pretty minor note, but now it's going to give you protection when Shield of Wrath ends, as opposed to when it activates, because you will be blocking attacks.
Increase
while
duration.
The protection is active. So nice minor.
Ooh,
quality of
that's
life improvement.
redemption. Kind of got a nerf.
Vigorous precision shifting to.
Oh wait, never mind.
dodge
Buff,
trigger
increase,
instead
not-
of
not
trigger,
decrease.
which felt like
Not
something a
decreased.
bit more
That's actually good.
natural
Good
for
increase.
the trait line that was in, and probably doesn't have too significant of an impact. We still want this trait to be good. We still want it to be valuable and usable for like support.
Would you
builds
say this
specifically.
is the
But now
most
you won't
balanced
even have to
we
worry
have the
about,
game
like,
out so far?
swinging your sword or
No,
throwing
we've
it
had better
with your staff
balances,
or
but
whatever.
it's not bad.
I'm just
It's not the
rambling at this
worst.
point.
You wouldn't say that the game is as
Good stuff.
the
You
best
can just
balance
dodge,
it's
as
been?
you're dodging
All
different people, you
classes
can get some vigor.
together?
Very
Nope.
cool.
no?
That's
Nope.
awesome.
Glacial Heart. This is another trait that is kind of underutilized, and we've kind of decided to rework a little bit. So it's still going to give you Glacial Blow, but instead of doing like the extra damage and chill trigger, it's not going to heal you when you disable, immobilize, or chill an enemy.
Maybe New
Kind of
Relics.
trying to lean a little bit more into that bruiser style of gameplay.
Glacial
Obviously,
Heart no
Hammer
longer
has, like,
chills
good
and
burst potential,
damages
but it
that you
is-
disable.
Mhm.
It's supposed to be.
That's
a little bit more
kinda
of a pushy
weird.
weapon with like the CC skills. You got the ring, you got immob, you got some banish stuff. So maybe the heal makes it a little bit more appealing. Obviously, it competes with two really strong traits.
I don't like that change.
I feel like that's a mismatch, like
And
So-
Zealot's Defense.
unnecessary
Very cool.
removal.
We've been
Okay, I
adding a
like
lot of
Zealot's
skills
defense. I like that you can move.
with the
Finally,
speed
bro.
and Zealot's
It took
Defense.
12
Yeah.
years,
And we saw
and now you can
focus
finally
back,
move.
so it'll just be a lot better if you
Like, what the
can,
fuck?
And we don't think it'll be too problematic.
Very cool. I can't wait to press sword 3 and move. Very good. Taylor?
Yep.
Why don't you walk us through what's going on with Willbender?
Yeah, Willbender. Kind of doing some light adjustments to physical skills to help improve their playability. A lot of them outside of whirling are still not really the best. So whirling light is hopefully getting its recovery time. You know, you can use it and still keep attacking.
Oh, they made it more
Flash combo. You're going to gain access
noob
to
friendly.
repose even if you don't land all 5 hits.
You now
and
gain
as well,
access to
repose no longer
repose
is
as
gonna
long
be
as
a
you
damaging
complete the
skill, it's
skill,
now
even
gonna
if you
be
don't
defensive,
land all
healing, and
5
removing
hits.
additions
Yeah,
to you.
noob friendly.
And then kind of go in a bit crazy on Heaven's Palm.
We'll
It's
see
now
about the new
going
relics
to
tomorrow.
evade you, and if it will finish your target if they are downed and it's the only person in the radius.
What?
So you know,
Little bit
kind of
wild.
singles
Bro,
themselves,
that's no,
one-shot
that's
them,
insane,
finish
dude.
them,
That's a little
Willbender
broken.
stuff.
What
crazy.
the?
A little bit.
They need to do that for
Restless
all
Courage,
classes,
also
bro.
a trait that didn't really hit the mark, trying to be what it wanted to be. So we kind of completely reworked it, and now
This
it's
is
going
your
to be
target
just
foe if they're
more
down and know the
consistent
enemies
damage
are nearby.
reduction,
Oh,
How's that?
to help you stay in a
Okay,
fight longer.
we're gonna
be the
talk about that,
defensive trait
bro.
you want, for people team fighting and such.
Absolutely. All right, and I think, do we have any Firebrand notes to look over? Cal?
Unfortunately not.
You know, mission
Well,
accomplished.
Started playing
Firebrand.
Firebrand. Oh,
Firebrand
you're not
good.
supposed to say that. You're supposed to say that people are trying out Firebrand with the latest round of buffs, and we'll see how it lands.
Yeah.
No witty comments, Cal? I could have sworn you had
Never.
a joke prepared for this. Oh, okay, fair enough.
No.
Well,
Didn't they
This
want
is
to
a
rework the whole
serious stream
projectile
now.
behavior?
oh,
No. Did they discuss that in the last patch? I don't know if they did.
Anyways, moving
Anyway,
on to pink
Our
class.
Mesmer main should talk about the Mesmer notes.
Wow,
I've never played Mesmer.
I don't
Oh,
see
you meant
Mesmer
Taylor. I
here.
see. Yes, of course.
wow.
We'll be looking at some World versus World
Power
support
Mirage.
adjustments,
Well,
for
Pickles.
Mesmer, as well as
Pickles.
some Mirage improvements.
World v World
for
support
Power
and
Build,
PvE, no PvP.
And yes, our resident Mesmer main is chomping at the bit to talk about it. That's a horse reference, and he loves animals. So Taylor, please take away
Wow.
this first Mesmer slide.
Did you just call him an animal?
Support Mesmer was something that got very large adjustments.
Oh, the dog, man.
You know, all game modes in the November update, and it came out really strong, a bit too strong. So we're taking some swings to, you know, make it at the power level of other supports.
Tamale, it's a bunch of
funny, I
inside
actually-
jokes that we don't
I
know.
actually
Basically reducing the
Pumping at the
pulses.
bit
The
like
skill
yesterday.
is incredibly strong, especially in World versus
Wow.
World. It
I would
boosts
be.
your
I think
body
alike,
count, which is
you know.
exactly what you wanted
I
to
got a
do.
root canal, so
And so it needs to be, you know, an appropriate power level.
no field,
For utility skill.
reduced duration.
Mantra of Concentration was similarly
feel like these are nerfs, bro.
insanely strong.
These are
Basically got all the stab you wanted from it. And so we're nerfing it in
You know
different
what?
ways, and then you're gonna see later that we're adding the stab back in another place. And then
Oh, you don't
you
gain.
know, the last note
Ooh,
here is kind of part of a dueling.
you don't gain a
vamp up
clone
we're
when you
doing for the
dodge. You
crate
gain
line. In
bigger.
competitive modes, some traits in dueling were just pretty archaic, and so we're
I feel
going
like
back
that's
to,
that's
you know what a trait should be in today's game.
Wow.
a bit insane to do it
Dude.
like that.
Some more Mesmer patch.
Gain vigor when you evade instead of the clone.
Yeah, these are the other trait changes. Master Fencer, this one's kind of important because a while ago we made this AoE and it was a stealth nerf to it in competitive modes because it used to be full fury uptime and then it went to 50%. And now we're making it basically still
Goodbye
100%
Mesmer and
for
PvP,
the player
thank God.
itself. So reverting that
World
nerf
versus
that
World.
wasn't ever intended to be a nerf. But then you can see the rest is basically more support Mesmer nerfs for World v World, reducing the amount of chaos aura I can give. Temporal Enchanter is no longer going to increase glamour durations, and Sympathetic Visage is going to back to be personal only. We felt that there was a lot of powerful traits in that tier, and it didn't need the option for more Condi Cleanse here.
Very good.
I didn't know it was like
Moving on
that,
to the
Pickles.
specific elite specs. We got Chrono, Mirage, Virtuoso notes. Taylor?
Yep,
Yeah,
this
continue.
is where it gets a bit more interesting. Well of Precog, this is where I was talking about the stab went back. So we're putting stab on this skill at the beginning to still let Mesmers have good stab access, but they need to commit more. They need to commit another utility slot to it instead of just having one that does everything. And then going on,
So they want to
Power Mirage was a
incentivize
build that never
power
really
builds,
existed
not
in
Condi
PvE,
builds.
and so why not? So we're buffing
Power is the way, man.
power-based
What's
ambush
Eva?
skills
The only way.
to do, you know, pretty good damage, as well as a rework to Dune Cloak. That was a trait that never really found a niche that we liked it in. So now, when you gain Mirage, or when you shatter 2 or more clones, you're going to gain Mirage Cloak, which is going to be, you know, a new dodge and then more ambushes. So pretty good if you can successfully do that a lot. And then we have 2 little notes for Power Virtuoso and PvE. Sword of Decimation is now going to apply its
Oh my
bonus
God, who
damage
just-
to Defiant
thank you
foes
so
and
much,
deal
Figo, with
additional
the-
Defiant damage, which is going to be another option if you need Break Bar. You can drop a bit of
Is this the
damage
patch
to
where they
Defiant
introduced the
or
Be Gone
Decimation.
Celestial
And then
status?
Infinite Forge was not infinite. It was actually kind of bad at giving you blades compared to the other options. So now, when you use a blade song with
Rush
5 or more
thrust.
blades, it will refund
Just
2
got
blades.
huge
So,
power
you know,
increase.
a lot of blades. Still not infinite, but approaching.
We
was gonna
talked about
say-
making it infinite, but then we decided that might be a bad idea.
Yeah, it took a while for us to settle on 2. We knew it was a number between 1 and infinite, and
Wow.
yeah, 2 is what we ended up with. But a lot of, as we mentioned, a lot of support adjustments for mostly chrono builds and World versus World. You know, we adjusted a few things with it as well. A couple of targeted changes in the January patch. You know, are we thinking that this is going to be putting chrono in a place that we want to see now that we've kind of toned it down a little bit for a couple patches? You know, is it still kind of there's a few more things we're potentially looking at if it still remains too strong? Is there sort of a goal in mind with chrono? You know, when it comes to that support build.
We're going to keep our eye on it. We definitely
Yeah,
still want
pretty
Chronomancer
good
to
changes.
be, you know, a viable option that people can play, but we don't want it to be, you know, overly dominant, where it's just, you know, taking over too many roles. So we are going to keep our eye on it after these nerfs for sure.
Sounds good. That will wrap up our pink class
Wow.
notes for this preview. And we'll be talking about Necromancer. Had a little bit of a hint at potentially one of the changes earlier. We were looking at Tempest. That Taylor
Since
spoke about.
when?
But we'll be looking at some support score adjustments in World
Yeah,
versus
I'm
World,
blocking
as well as
Cal's
Harbinger
face, aren't I?
improvements in PvE for Necromancer. Cal, Signets, I know
Yep.
you love them. So why don't
We
you
also
talk
have a
about
bunch
them?
of random changes to like one-off skills and traits.
I couldn't be a dev. I'd break
So
everything.
Plague Signet here. We've updated the passive, so that is a Condi damage reduction instead of the transfer conditions, just because obviously the transfer condition is very thematic because you then transfer them out with
Keep
Plague Signet
A-nets.
itself. But
Yes.
it ended up too often that you would just kind of grief yourself.
You know
or
what?
fool yourself
Yeah, let me
and
act like
pull
I'm part of the
condition that you
fucking dev
want.
team. Hold on,
And
hold
it
on,
made it
hold on.
really difficult to
Why don't you switch
justify
on your
using skill
camera,
all the
Kiba?
time.
It is on, bro.
So
I'm in the
Condi
dev
damage
chat.
reduction is kind
Look
of
at me. Right, put me in
along
there.
the same lines where you can like take more conditions onto yourself
Mhm.
because you're taking slightly less damage before you transfer
That's-
them out, and it
Yes.
should just have a lot better gameplay. So hopefully that we'll see a bit more Plague
Oh,
Signet.
yeah,
because it
just
like,
keep nodding.
Mhm.
a pretty strong utility skill. It's
Mm.
just
Bro, they all have like blurred backgrounds, and Roy has like the
Mhm.
plain one, and yours just is like, what the fuck is going on
Sickness of
behind you?
Suffering. This is a slight bump up to this trade again. Adding some lifesteal to all the signet triggers, so it's going to do the boon rip. and
Hoping
it's
to see
gonna do
those
a little
nerfs in
bit of lifesteal
PvP.
as well.
Roy, what do you think of those
And
nerfs in
then cooldown
PvP?
reduction to Wall of Power because it's just again
No
it still
comment.
doesn't get
All right, got it.
away. So -5 seconds, pretty standard. 30 seconds Wall of Power might be good skill though, so we'll see.
Ah, yes, yes.
And then we can see here a lot of these Scourge nerfs for the world. See
Oh, the war nerfs in PvP? There's not going to be
Desert
fucking war
Empowerment,
nerfs.
granting
If
vigor
there's
and
warrior
alacrity,
nerfs,
as Taylor said, we are
Of course
really
they will do.
pulling
There'll
back
be all
the
on
nerfs.
outlaw
nah, there ain't going to be no
implications
nerfs, bro.
on
Warrior's not even that
implications.
strong in PvP.
For competitive modes.
Competitive
What are you
modes.
talking about? They actually
And
nerfed Blade
then you
Sworn
always see some barrier reductions or
to the
cooldown
point where it's like
increases to skills
unplayable
that
now,
are
so...
nothing too crazy, honestly.
Absolutely. All right, Harbinger.
Yeah, as the title slide said, some buffs to Power Harb. We kind of have a sense of where swords are going to land. Obviously, those aren't quite on live yet, and we may need to adjust after that patch goes out and people actually use swords. We do think that Power Harb could probably use a little bit of a bump. So we see a
Yes.
couple of those notes here, and then Vile Vials, a trait that kind of didn't really land well with the removal of the cooldown reduction because there's a pile of vulnerability. Now it's going to grant protection instead. And that is a shareable protection with Twisted Medicine, so it should make the trait a little bit more exciting.
I've never played Harbinger.
If you are
to
not
be
interested
honest.
in a
I
damage
don't
bonus
know.
in that
Mhm.
slot.
I don't know how it works.
Very cool. Moving on to Ranger.
Ah, here we
Standard
go.
Green class.
PvP?
We've
PvP?
got some Druid adjustments for the
Druid?
shield that we're seeing in
Seriously?
PvP, as well as some improvements to the Wilderness Survival specialization. And of course,
Harbin Beta.
random.
Where
I
it
think, Taylor,
belongs.
you can talk about Ranger if you like, for no particular
I
reason.
should never made it to a
why.
live
I don't know why
patch.
I always do this.
Yeah, actually, this is
But
interesting. The last time we had you talk about Ranger, I was
Wild
like, "Pet
swing
Nurse."
power
Did you see
up.
Pet Nurse here, Taylor?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Not,
okay.
Wow.
not yet.
I
disappointing
like,
for you?
yeah. fact,
Maybe
the-
a bit.
The
Never
patch
mind.
should just be buffing Ranger.
But what's not disappointing is Hammer, best weapon. What we're seeing
That's
here is we're kind of
the
bridging the gap between the damage between the non-unleashed, leashed, brown,
Wow.
whatever you want to call them versions.
Say that 5 times fast.
To be closer to what your unleashed versions are, but still not as much damage. Because we felt that they, had a decent amount of utility, but they still weren't worth using because they just didn't do enough damage. And so we're bringing up the damage on a lot of those that we felt were lower, as well
Unleash
as
Trump.
reducing the cast time on the second
Yep.
part of
Thump.
Overbearing Smash, the 3.
Yeah.
And then Thump is getting a radius increase to be closer to what other,
That's
similar
funny.
skills like Earthshaker and the Ellie Hammer 5 are. And then lastly,
Oh.
Unleash
Ooh,
Thump
greater
is
number of
going to give
boons,
a
okay.
greater number of
You didn't even
boons
play
to
Hammer,
the
bro.
first enemy struck, kind of
No, I don't.
similarly to, Elemental
Maybe I
Hammer
would
or
now.
Fire 5.
Oh, really?
Where it gives
Maybe I'll
a decent
finally
amount of
leave
boons
Soul
on the
Beast.
first hit and then less for every subsequent hit.
An Untamed.
We on some more.
All right, some Ranger stuff. Healing
These
Spring.
are the Wilderness Survival changes, as well as Healing Spring. Healing Spring is seeing a reduction in its duration by half.
Wow.
But we're also reducing the interval it pulses from 2 to 1.
Good.
So
Wow.
it's the same amount of
Good.
pulses, just for less.
Good. Killed their
Having
healing
a
spells.
Water field out for 10 seconds is kind
Get
of
Rangers
crazy.
out of here, bro.
And 5 seconds, but you do it once every second. It's a lot more consistent and easy for people. But we're
Wait,
also
this is
reducing
Muckluck's
the amount
build
of
anyways.
conditions cleansed from 2 to 1 in War vs. World and PvP. The amount of cleanse that came out from the skill was just kind of insane. 10 conditions, 24-second cooldown. It was a lot. Now
Wild.
it's 5, which is still a lot, but
Yeah, very
half,
wild.
So, yay.
That's quick math.
Yeah. And then back to Wilderness Survival. We kind of similarly to Inventions, we want to see this be kind of a bruiser trait line.
Condi
like
Untamed
Defense
open
on
world is
Warrior,
good.
but there just weren't
don't
any
doubt
good
it.
traits for if you were like a power bruiser.
Untamed
so we're
is
kinda
really strong.
trying to add them. Like Refined Toxins is getting a rework to now have incoming strike damage.
Yeah, they're
reduced
fat
and
nerfs,
outgoing
bro.
Strike
But
damage increased.
to be honest,
And then
it's not
Empathic
like
Bond was a trait that was
it's
just kind of
nerfing things
redundant
that
in
were
the Grandmaster
overly
tier as a
fucking
Conde Cleanse
tuned.
trait, but competed with Wilderness Survival or Wilderness Knowledge that was also cleansed. So we're moving it to the Master tier, changing how it cleanses, so it can be a different cleanse option in that tier if you want to take that in a different Grandmaster. Which, speaking of which, we're adding a new one. Carnivore. It's basically Lightning Rod, but instead of,
he's gonna
weakness
upset all the
and
vegans.
crit, it's lifesteal. So healing and give
Yeah.
some damage.
Isn't Jude supposed to be
Hopefully
the
help out
opposite?
those brawler builds that want to play like
And you eat
Hammer
your
or the
pets?
new maces on like side nodes or skirmishes and get some sustain.
That makes no sense.
Are you sure
Stealth
Carnivore
your
should be a
enemies,
ranger?
steal health from enemies.
Necromancer trait?
I don't
That's
know.
kind of
Honestly,
lame, bro.
I don't know if they
No,
should
I
give
don't
a
like
name,
that.
'cause what if you're fighting a Sylvari or a Mortem?
Wow. See?
It's just not gonna proc.
Doesn't work. Yep.
Exactly.
Special case then.
Maybe Omnivore is better.
Ooh.
Okay, we could
I agree.
potentially see
I
a
agree.
treatment,
See, they heard me, bro.
by
They heard me.
those-
Let us
You
know what you think.
Yeah, please let us know what you think. Maybe it should just be called Gormandize. Who knows?
Wow.
Either way, we're going to be moving on to Druid and Untamed. Some
Hmm.
specs here for Ranger. Taylor, you've been doing such a great job with the Ranger notes. You seem to know this class so well. I'm surprised. I'm shocked. I'm appalled.
Yep.
Please take it away.
Grace of the Land, no longer Alacrity, back to Might.
Nice.
Decent amount of
Oh.
Might stacking, not decent actually, really good Might stacking, so this trait still has a place. Just Alacrity is not something we want to give to Druid anymore. Natural Balance, we saw the Druid builds that are running over PvP right now
Internet
are very
fixing
tanky,
ranked
and they
queue
don't
system.
need this
Is it
incoming
bugged?
strike damage reduction. In other game modes, it was kind of useless, so we're changing it to Boon Duration, which is a lot less helpful in competitive game modes, but, in PvE, it's pretty good, maybe to even help a build like Condialac Druid. It doesn't really exist because they don't have enough stats to take that they want, so hopefully this helps them out there. Glyph of the Stars is getting nerfed in competitive modes, kind of similarly to Healing Spring. It was a ton of cleanses, as well as a lot of other things, so its cooldown is going up, its cleansing is going
Nice.
down, and in Worldly World, its revive percent is also going down.
Good.
So that'll do it with all the
Good.
Druid adjustments, and now do
Goodbye.
Untamed.
Goodbye,
This
Druid.
one's hopefully a big quality of life improvement. Unleash ambush skills will no longer be automatically
Untamed, let's
used
go.
when auto attack is enabled. When you had auto attack enabled, it was really clunky. A lot of the times you would accidentally cancel your own ambushes, and it felt really bad. And it was honestly a big barrier to entry to people that didn't know that it was, a bad thing to have it on. So we're hoping that this feels a lot better for players, that they can have auto attack on and not worry about like ruining their ambush skills. For Ranger, we didn't add this to Barrage because we felt that there weren't a lot of cases where you don't want to immediately use it. But according to feedback, if a lot of people want this function on the Mirage, then that's definitely a conversation we can have.
The quickness is cool.
And lastly, unnatural traversal. This skill kind of died when we added a cast time to it. We don't want to make it instant cast again. We were not happy with the gameplay patterns that it had, so we're kind of trying to meet it in the middle, where now if you use this while unleashed, you'll gain quickness instead of might, so you won't be instant, but your skills will be faster. So hopefully it'll be land in the middle of where it was now and then.
Good.
As well, we're increasing the amount of vulnerability it applies.
Because I don't care. I fucking it's better than having instant. Dude, honestly, I would take that over an instant cast.
So we can move on.
Yes, way better.
We got some tuning adjustments here for quickness Deadeye, build we've seen rise and fall in the past, and
all right, please kill Deadeye. Please give me my Christmas gift early.
Cow, if you want to start talking about Thief.
Oh, all right. We're already starting with piercing.
Say some words about Thief.
Great.
So kicking things off.
Skill now pierces double
some
tap.
smaller changes.
This skill also
There's
now
some
pierces.
piercing on rifle and some minor buffs to sword. We see tactical strike can have a short daze on the when you front stab someone with tactical strike, you will get a short daze instead of a blind. And then bumping up the damage just a tad on a couple of these sword skills.
Yeah, actually, I'd rather a daze than a blind.
As well as Shadow Portal no longer breaks stun.
Oh, nice. Shadow Portal doesn't break stun.
Nothing
Nice nerf.
too crazy, really. Moving into the next slide, we have some trait adjustments. So some more, as we said, usability improvements to some of the critical strike traits that care about your health threshold. We've kind of been reducing these over time, 90 to 75. Now we're going all the way down to 50. Should make it just a lot more reliable because of how important being able to critically strike all the time in PvE is. We wanted to give this a little bit more leeway than we might normally for this type of trait, but we expect this to make just Thief gameplay a lot better.
They want
Deadly
thieves
Aim
and
also going
raids.
to actually increase your pistol and harpoon damage instead of reducing it. Would be a nice little change there.
Thank you, Deadly Aim.
And then we have a couple of improvements to acrobatics, vigorous recovery. Kind of rework this.
Oh, pumping up, bro.
Dodge as opposed
Pumping
to
up them
actual
gains.
vigor.
You're pumping up.
The trait's called Pumping Up.
Oh, I like that.
It's probably named by our resident thief main, Taylor.
Yeah, let's pump, baby.
Taylor, it's crazy how many.
I wear a
classes
lot of
he names.
hats around here.
And then upper hand, getting a slight buff as well, giving you some initiative back when you dodge.
Very cool. What do you envision? Either of you could feel free to
What's
answer
your
this. What do you
verdict
envision,
on this?
I like
Thief
that
does
Deadly
when it
Aim.
Pumps up.
It's just like cardio. You're warming up, you're getting pumped, getting amped, ready. Get
Cardio.
in. Yeah.
That's not cardio, my friend. That's the
Taylor, why don't you
opposite of
talk about
cardio.
Daredevil and Deadeye for us.
Havoc Specialist. This is getting changed to be a flat bonus, like Leviathan Strength. It was really annoying because in PvE you wanted to have no dodges so you could get max value out of this, and so when someone gave you Vigor, you were mad. That doesn't seem right. So we're making it flat. As long as you don't have full endurance, you're going to get the bonus. We kind of average it to what we expected.
Ooh, Deadeye stolen skills is crazy.
PvE, it's going to be 15%.
I like that they're
from
removing
80%.
the defensive abilities and
then going
increasing the
down,
offensive
Deadeye stolen
abilities.
skills, increasing
Because
the damage
Deadeye
here.
shouldn't be
Maybe
able
a
to survive
buff
very
to all
long
Deadeye
periods
builds,
of time.
Should be
mostly
what the plan
ones that
is,
do
right?
quick
Yeah,
builds, we're gonna
yeah.
be casting them
Or,
more,
like you should
as
be able
well
to
as
attack a
some
lot, but
quality
be
of
very
life changes, hopefully,
very
with
vulnerable.
Shadow Meld
Yeah, should
and
be able to kill a
Mercy
Deadeye in 2
helping-
shots if
being
they don't play
options you
well.
can take for encounters where being a Deadeye is sometimes annoying. Hopefully these skills can help it be less annoying, as well as we see some buffs to some adept traits to make them more appealing.
Very good. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's going to wrap up Thief for us. We're going to be moving on now to Warrior.
Yes, yes,
Moving right along.
yes.
We've got
Oh,
some
yeah.
build improvements.
This is literally the whole stream we've been
We'll
wanting
see
for.
in competitive modes.
Here we go.
Some, interestingly enough, PvP power berserker buffs. I don't know how that
Is
got
that
in there.
interesting?
That is interesting.
Are
And
berserkers-
Buffs?
Have you seen the numbers?
well, apparently you have. But anyways,
We've seen the numbers.
What's most interesting, of course, is this final note: rush tracking improvements. A note
Oh,
that is one note long,
no.
yet important enough to be on the title slide for Warrior.
11 years in the
No.
making.
No,
Yeah,
do not. God
well,
damn
that
it.
is-
That's actually a nerf.
yeah,
I'm
11
done.
years in the making, but
Yeah,
here we go.
sorry,
Cal,
Kiba.
I know you're super excited about this one, otherwise it wouldn't be in the title slide. Why don't you talk
Yeah, I
about
love Rush.
about this
Anyone
slide
who's
for us?
played with the greatsword on
Oh,
Warrior may be
wait, 1
familiar
second,
with
man.
The times you press rush and run in the wrong direction. It's not great.
Viking slice.
It's
Nice,
really
bro.
bad.
We got
I don't know if there's much to say there beyond this interaction is miserable every time it happens.
100 blades. What?
They're trying to
Increase? Finally can use
improve
it?
We're really hoping that the changes
Can finally use it?
hit
In
what we're
full
trying to do
capacity?
and make
Wait, what?
Rush not run in random directions every once in a
Bro,
while.
can I finally used?
So, you know, we'll see.
I think I can.
We can only hope. Because warriors, I think all warrior mains will rejoice. once
Yes.
Rush
Actually, okay, I like Rush.
does that properly. Beyond that, we have a couple other improvements
There's
to the
more?
Greatsword.
I need
Yeah,
warrior
I mean,
spam
who cares about the
emotes.
other changes? We're improving rush tracking.
Yep.
Yeah, so we see a couple changes here to the Greatsword as well. Arcing Slice getting a little bit of buff to its non-execute damage. So if you hit someone above 50% health, you'll do a little bit more than you usually do. But that execute damage still high, still powerful, not going to change. We're seeing a similar change below to Final Thrust on Sword here. Just getting a
Final
little
thrust.
bit
Nice.
smaller gap instead of having like a 50% or 100% increase when you're on the execute threshold. Making it a little bit smaller, so this skill still feels good to use.
Wow, what a day for you, huh, Kiba?
Yeah, last stand. Nice.
Yeah.
Also, kind of a
Savage
minor
Leap
bump up for
too?
Savage Leap. Getting
Ah,
a little bit
yes.
lower cooldown.
It's almost
Not
like
much to say there.
they've done this for you.
Last stand, getting a little
They
bit
did. That's why I'm in the chat right
last
now.
stand users.
I'm part of
Yeah.
the team.
Take some stances, take some last stand. You'll get a little bit extra.
Bro
barrier
thinks he's
compared
on
to
the
what you get
team.
on, like,
Yeah, they should have actually done 100 blades movement.
Very good.
Like you move
Alright,
while
sir.
doing 100 blades.
I think we can have you talk about these as well, Cal.
Sure.
Oh,
As
wild
with
blow is
power berserker stuff, we
unblockable.
see a lot of power coefficients increasing for skills that aren't quite as good. Dagger.
Dude,
and
Bro,
Literally.
increased power coefficient to 1.7. What
framework
the?
skills. And wild blow kind
A
of
little bit of a damage bump. What are you
significant
talking
change here to
about?
try and
If you want to know what
feel
Grimjack was
more-
smiling like, you should see me
I
because
don't
I'm
know what I've
like,
been looking for. But
hmm.
something that power
It's like
berserker
looking at my
feels good
cake,
playing
baby.
with and gives them a little bit of ways to like interact.
Skull
It's
grinder.
obviously, like, now we have
Yeah.
unlockable and days, so it's kind of really targeting those
Yeah,
matchups where
buddy.
you kind of
Blur my background.
and it's going
Alright,
to allow
here.
you to take
No
this
one wants to
utility
see your
skill,
anime
you know,
stuff,
spend that
Kiba.
slot
Bullshit.
and have
Everyone
a lot
knows it.
more interaction for those matchups. So
There.
we're
It's
also changing
blurred.
it to be a daze instead of a knockdown, so it's gonna be a really short daze, and the idea is it'll be like that interrupt daze, and then
Oh,
also
yes.
give it a
Warrior
chance to
meta.
really do some damage instead of having that 0.1 coefficient.
Is there kind of a vision for Power Berserker in PvP that we have?
Blurred.
I
I can speak
don't
to
know if
this,
we have
Roy.
a specific vision. There's a lot of options in
I can speak to
the
this.
past.
Roy, the vision is that everyone needs to play Warrior. It's the only class that's going to get you a relationship in life, a master's degree, and a 6-figure paying job.
They are going to be playing Greatsword, and then like there's even a lot of flexibility in utility skills. It's just that like none of these builds are really up to where they need to be. So we are, you know, just improving a lot of things that aren't very good, and then seeing.
Yeah,
what
let me
way
play
we're gonna
Staff
try out
Warrior too.
once these changes make it to live. See like, okay, is one subset of this build good, but the rest isn't, or is everything still bad? Is Power Berserker suddenly great? You know, probably not, but.
It will be in my
You know, we
hands.
do want
It'll
Power
be
Berserker
great
to
in my
be a supported
hands.
archetype, and obviously Connie's already great. So we do want to, you know, make power a little bit better.
Make power great again.
Sounds good. And last but not least, we will be moving on to Revenant, where we see a
Renegade.
single note here for the title slide.
Actually,
A rework.
I
to
forgot
the
Renegade
GW
existed.
stance, also sometimes referred to as Kala stance. Cal, I know you just talked a lot about Warrior, but I'm gonna have to call on you again, unfortunately.
Well, it's
I
okay,
mean,
we
for
have
you
an
right now, you don't even
slide
care,
here
right?
with a
Like,
bunch of
you got what you
unrelated
needed.
notes to the Kala rework
Okay.
that Taylor
Oh,
covered.
well, I am also a
We'll-
Revenant
We'll-
main
we'll
too.
Pause on the calorie work for a second. Yes, Taylor, who would be glad to read these notes. Please read these notes.
Like I'm making
Thank you.
Exordium so I can.
The bulk of this is support Vindicator in Roe v. World gameplay patterns. Again, we didn't like energy expulsion, pretty strong skill, especially for one with a 2-second cooldown. And so it kind of
I'm about to
devolved into
drop
we don't
the
wanna do
hammer, bro.
anything except press this button. And so we're giving it a 15-second cooldown and lowering its effectiveness. Still a very good button. It gives resistance and stability and a blast finisher. But you're
Nice,
gonna have
the
to do
Aryan
other things
staff.
besides
I
just
have
press
Nevermore
this.
for that.
As well, Imperial
make the
Impact
Zayatan
is
staff,
no longer
actually.
going to extend boons on allies. There was another trait that we weren't happy to see the gameplay patterns it created. Boon extension is something that's really powerful, and on this, we just weren't happy with it there. So we're increasing the duration of all the boons that it gave, the protection and might and everything. And so we're gonna see how it plays, when those have real
Yeah.
durations on them. And
That's a
that is really
Kappa
valuable
ass
trait
fucking
potential.
trait name, bro.
Very well could
You
not
want to
be
drop
a
your
trait
hammer,
that will be
dog?
on our
Like,
eyes
what
in
the
future, but
why?
that's what we're doing with it now.
Why?
As well, a small thing.
Big
dropping
pump.
Hammer,
You're gonna pump up
it's
and drop
now
the
going to
hammer.
get
That's what it's.
additional functionality and a change in its cast time. It's now going to have a much shorter cast time where you just swing to summon a mist hammer that will attach above the person that you have targeted, kind of like dragons do.
Oh,
so you'll
nice.
follow
That's
them.
actually a huge buff,
Correction, it will
bro.
not follow.
Oh.
It will not follow. Never mind.
Slam the ground target location.
He cut that, so sucks for you guys.
Whoa, oh!
But it will
Oh!
recharge Coalescence of Ruin, kind of like a lot of the other hammer resets.
What the fuck?
Yeah, you
Yep.
know, all the other heavy hammers had some sort of cooldown reset, so we had to add it here as well.
Taylor reading the April Fool's notes clearly.
He said sucks
Who
for.
knows where we'll swing
Wow,
next.
that's
Which fire
hilarious.
skill will recharge the slot 2 skill of its weapon.
Especially on hammers. Are there any hammer skills that don't do that yet?
Ooh.
Or hammers that don't do that yet? I guess
There
in hand.
are.
Ooh,
There
okay.
are.
They are just,
Maybe
there's
we'll get
always
some-
so
room
many.
for more.
There's always room. Yeah, who knows? All right, but here we go. Leading into what everyone is really excited about is Renegade. And when I say everyone, I really mean Cal. So Cal, please let us know what's going on with Kala. Thank you.
All right. Let's
Wow.
See if I remember my spiel. I wrote a big spiel for
Summons
the
are no longer what we're talking about.
post, and then
That's-
I
that's
don't remember it.
Actually, kind
so
of
there's a lot
broken.
of things that we were thinking about with Renegade Stance or Kala. We've seen in the
And
past.
man, getting
how this
smacked by a
played
ghost.
in competitive modes,
But you
especially
can't
PvP,
attack.
kind
Yeah.
of like
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
healthy
actually
stance,
that's how it should be. You know, you should be
just
able to
Yeah,
how
attack.
realistic,
guys.
real. That's actual role
Summon
play.
I've seen the movies,
a lot
bro.
of
You know.
summons, they last
Hello,
a
what
long
happened to your
time,
screen?
And it is.
I think they died, bro.
very Visually loud.
Budget
can
cuts.
even-
Oh yeah, true.
Like,
Just
no.
like Kanye's
Actually, there's a
Super
lot of
Bowl
things that are
video.
visually loud in our game, but we don't like
That's
to have
genius,
things
though.
that are
It's such a
excessively
Kanye
loud
thing to
and
do, though.
colors
Spend all the
that
money
we
on the
want these.
marketing for the
So as we're
budget
going
of
into this,
the
we wanted to
Super Bowl, and then nothing on the actual.
definitely improve
video.
the gameplay
Yep.
patterns for competitive modes, and we want to make sure that we aren't significantly impacting PvE either, because this is something that gets used.
Reduce
so
cast
taking
time
that
from
into consideration,
wow,
like there's a lot of
half
things that are
half
different,
reduction
where
in
we,
cast and energy.
try to tune the numbers such that, and tune the mechanics such that it should land
And
pretty
upkeep.
similar to where it is right now. And if we miss the mark, we'll buff it to make sure that it is still good where it.
I
needs
like
to be.
Renegade though, to be honest.
But there is some significant mechanical reworks here that some of you may already seen on this slide. For first off, no longer targetable. This is basically more in line with Ranger Spirits, and part of the idea here is that as part of this rework,
Yeah, band together
all
would
of
be
the
great.
Call of Spirits, except for Soul Cleave, because that's still going to be an upkeep skill. But the spirits are going to last significantly less time. So you're going to summon a spirit, and it's going to come in.
I
Give
really
an
like
initial
the energy
bonus,
system, to be honest. I
around
think it
itself, and
promotes
then
like
perform some
really
kind of skill as opposed
high-level
to the
gameplay.
current behavior where they all kind of have like these long, not upkeep skills, but long channels where they perform actions for a very long period of time. We're trying to cut down on their overall lifetime and make them have like more immediate impact. So we're going to see like initial bonus on activate, then perform some kind of skill that we'll talk about and show off in game as well, and then kind of phase out and leave. Kind of similar to Ranger Spirits in that sense. Not going to have any shaking, no shaking chars like we have shaking spirits, but they'll still salute you as they're.
Will they slam?
No slams.
One of
no
them does.
slams. Yeah, it's true. There is a slam. There's a slam.
Oh.
So.
Nice.
But the
Well,
other mechanic here that we've kind of added to capture some of the feeling, like that warband feel of like, I summon my warband member and then they kind of like team up or tag team. We're
Damn.
calling it band together because
They
we
love to
naming
roleplay.
things for no reason.
No, yeah,
You'll
a lot,
have
a
the
lot.
nice little yellow text on your tooltip that says band together. This means
Banding.
something.
Were
So
you in a
basically what
band
it
when you
means.
were in school, Cal?
Basically, what it means is that
Just
cast one of your legendary renegade stance skills, not soul cleave, an upkeep skill where keep the cooldown short, not touching that one too much. But any of your other renegade skills, when you activate one, it will trigger band together, which says your next renegade skill, next legendary renegade skill, the call stance specifically, not any of the F skills, will activate instantly and then get a bonus. So the idea is like
It's a good question. Were you in a band in school,
with
Iba?
two of your
Yes, I
different
was.
spirits, and so the next one just comes in.
What
very
were you?
quickly, and
The
then it's a
guitar,
little
lead
powerful.
guitar, lead singer?
I was bass.
There's base.
I guess there is the
okay.
Soul Cleave note on this page already that everyone's probably read many times over since I've been talking for quite a while. But we do see some cast time reductions, some energy cost
You
reductions,
took me for a drummer.
just to make the skill a little bit more available.
Not into
and then a slight bonus
drumming?
to how it works, where every time
If
you
I
summon
I wouldn't
another
mind, dude.
warband
I
member,
think drumming
Soul
is
Cleave
cool.
will also do
Like
a
if I could
Banging
pick it
the
up now,
wood.
I would.
a pulse of healing around
Yeah.
itself. So
But
it doesn't
no.
quite fit in with
I'd be a
the
lead
band
singer.
together mechanic as well, being an upkeep
Again,
skill, going to keep the cooldown
if I
low.
was
Like
to
I
be
said,
in a
the
band
energy
again.
cost is going to be low. So if you could keep like summon Soul
I'd be the
Cleave,
front
get
man.
band together bonus, dismiss, resummon, the gameplay is just like really janky. So we just added like this other separate tie-in instead. Where
People think I'm in a
you'll get
band,
a
bro.
nice
I don't
bonus
know.
where you
I don't know what
summon
it
any other
is,
warband
but
member, but not quite the same.
I'll ask like
with
random
these
people, like, what do you think I do for work? And they're like, I think you're in a
Why don't
band.
you take a drink of water, Cal?
You
good
look like
idea.
you'd be in a
Nice.
band. Yeah.
Also-
Mr. Smith from the chat, bro is yapping.
Something.
Yeah, and that's Taylor's job. For the record, I was in band
I'm
in
yapping.
middle school and high school.
Oh, see, Mark
Yeah,
or Roy Mark.
just to put that out
Okay,
there.
no instruments here. But,
I played trumpet and French horn.
Well, that's a different band. I knew he was in some like high school
I
band,
like
bro.
sharing. Anyways, here we go. We can take
Not like a
look at
rock
the
band. What a
specific
loser.
skills, and Cal, now refreshed, can continue his spiel.
Yep. So we can talk a
Yeah.
little bit about. We will show these off in game, so it'll be great. As I said before,
The Molly
we'll try to
says you
keep this a
got
little
drummer
shorter,
vibes.
but as I said before,
Yeah, I do
they're all
apparently.
going to have like a more unique skill.
Kara's
than
actually
we
letting
did
me grow my
before.
hair out, by the
So
way.
Rank Razor is going to come in.
It's
and
getting
use,
kinda
like,
long.
That empower animation.
Ever since I got
So
my
that
hair
doesn't seem
transplant.
long.
Similar skill
Since
to
I got-
Avatar,
Wait,
you'll
yeah.
give some
I got my hair
heal
transplant.
pulses
It's now
and a
like
big
in
heal
front of
at
my
the end.
eyes, bro.
Also give some resolution.
That's worked wonders for you,
when
huh?
it is enhanced through band
She
together.
says I can
we
grow
keep
it
saying
out.
Band together because it's great.
Nice.
That will also give you give barrier to allies.
Only question
on
is,
that
when will you stop
final
dyeing
boss.
these weird colors, man?
Dark Razor Daring. Here's
It's
where we're
not
gonna have
dyed,
that,
it's
that
bleached.
slam. It's gonna use that worldly
Bleaching
impact
it, huh?
kind of animation where it leaps up in the
I
ground.
don't know.
and
Maybe I'll
slams
stop
down
one day.
into the ground, dealing a single hit of damage and daze. So, previously this skill would channel for a long time and keep dazing and keep dazing and keep dazing and keep
Yep.
dazing.
I remember that skill because I
very
use it
frustrating
all the
gameplay.
time.
So now we'll just do a single daze, and it will have
That
a decent
sucks.
damage strike on there as well. It's also going to give prop to allies when you summon it, and if it's enhanced, it will grant resistance on that final impact. Razor Claw's Rage. That initial impact here is that it's going to give you some stacks. This Razor Claw buff is now stacking because it's not going to be lingering in the world for so long. It's just going to pop in, give allies some of those bleeding stacks, and then perform its own attack that does bleeding in the area. Does some strike damage, does some bleeding. When it's enhanced, it will also deal some.
I do wish that it kept the days. I'm not gonna lie.
Ice Razor's Ire. Instead of having that very
Bro,
long
you
channel
can't be
again where you
picky
throw
now.
like 20 different projectiles, it's going to pop in, throw 3 projectiles at nearby enemies, up to 5 enemies. We'll see this in game, but you'll
The
throw
renegade
a
buffs
few
be
different
looking like
projectiles
the
at those
chrono
enemies,
angle or the well
inflicting
chrono.
torment, vulnerability, and immobilize. And
They
when
do.
enhanced by band together, this
I don't think that's gonna
will
make people want to
also
play
inflict
renegade more
chill on
though.
each projectile, which is very cool with the trait that says when you chill.
Not sure about that.
So for conditioned abilities,
Not in
it
PvP
does
at
give
least.
that a little bit of extra gameplay hook. So why don't we take a look at these in game, Roy?
Sure thing. And that is actually going to wrap up. We are going to.
Oh, yes, let's go. Now we get into the action.
All of our profession notes for the bounce preview. As mentioned before, those notes are going to be posted to the forums at the end of the stream. But we are going to now begin taking a look at the QR2 weapons. We'll start with taking a look at the color reworks. that
Here
just
we
talked
go.
About, but then
Here
we
we
will
go.
also be taking a look at some
Weapons,
updates
dog.
to Revenant Scepter. So we will.
People are frantically asking in the chat, Cal, is
Taylor
Dark
loves
Razor's
reading
Daring
chat.
still a stun break?
Yes.
All right. Well, and you can see that in just. a
Hey
little bit.
guys, Roy
Got
here.
you can read the band together mechanic.
Band together.
What a great name.
Band
see that.
together.
There you go. Sing it.
Is there a song? Is there a
Sing
song?
it.
No, maybe.
I mean, there's like the High School
There is no.
Musical. We're all in this together song, but
Who watched that movie? Wow.
I
Weird.
don't know.
I watched.
You see,
Okay.
that
Wait,
spirit
wait, what?
instantly
That's
cast because I
Disney
used
vibes,
another
no?
spirit before.
Oh, those are weird.
Activated
That's interesting.
The mechanic.
Wow, that's cool.
That's
And you
awesome.
saw it used Empower, and Fake Razor has a staff now instead of a mace. Why
That's
not?
pretty important, yeah. As you can see, Soul Cleave is going to still
Oh,
just be the
man.
upkeep skill as normal. Give me some damage stacks there as I use my scepter. Whoa, scepter on Revenant. Oh my gosh.
Whoa, that's a great
That's
sword.
crazy. But we can take a quick mouse over these skills just to read them. Obviously, we've got the heal, razor claws, loving some bleeding stacks. We've got ice razors, ire. Everyone can screenshot the VOD if they want, the stream.
Which will hopefully not be muted.
Yes. Yeah. I like double check to make sure. But, yeah. All right. Any last final thoughts you'd like to share for Kala there, Cal?
Can you just like cast them one at a time so people can see the animations?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good call. You know what? I'll even cheat a little bit.
The disrespect
Wow.
to get smacked by a ghost that you can't even target.
Those cooldowns, bro.
Yeah. That is pretty crazy.
Okay.
Nice. I am a professional role player.
Is that a rifle?
We do love our animations. Oh, we forgot
Yeah.
to show something.
staff?
Speaking of animations.
Power.
That's kind of cool. Okay.
The staff, not a
With the
mace.
staff.
Whoa, he did a flip.
Okay. No enemies
Nice.
nearby, so didn't throw anything. Unfortunately.
I like that. Flashy.
Nice. Threw some
Okay.
snowballs.
Everyone, specifically Cal, is a critic.
Cameraman.
Okay.
Oh,
Love it.
And
Love it.
There we go. Obviously, some pretty significant mechanical adjustments to Kala here.
Whoa.
As at the start, like we still want this to
Amazing,
fill basically
right?
the same role that it does in PvE. And
bro, the scepter is a giant sword.
To, like,
Like,
power remedy,
what is
new
this?
strikes and all that good stuff. We do want this to be like viable in competitive modes. I'd love to see Kala playable in PvP in a way that does not make people get very upset, because that was basically the entire history of Kala in PvP.
I might play Scepter Rev, dude.
So,
that looks
obviously,
cool.
You know, our favorite sentence of all time. We'll be keeping a pretty close eye on this, and obviously, you guys, please give your feedback.
Single hand
in the
great
forums of
sword.
What you think of these new mechanics for Kala? But I think we feel pretty good about them internally, so we will want to see how they play on live, and like if there's further tuning that needs to happen.
Yeah, keep pressing more buttons, Roy.
But we do want to see like how this plays out.
Indeed.
And band together.
It's like a
While we're
lightsaber.
here, I guess we can just get into our first updated weapon, which is Scepter. Taylor, if you want to talk a little bit about it, we'll get the notes up on stream in a moment. But since we're already in game, we can kind of show it off a bit.
Yeah, so going over the larger changes, Blossoming Aura is now going to be ally targetable. You can still put it on an enemy. Nothing is lost here. It's just complete addition. You know, if there's not an enemy near and you still want to support your allies, you can put it on them. And then as well, it's no longer going to charge up with the auto attack, but it will charge up over time. So you can detonate it whenever you want now, and its effects will scale based on how long it's been charging up. So that is pretty, hopefully good quality of life for that skill to hopefully, you know, always support your allies. Even
This
if no
looks
one's
like a
near.
lot of fun.
And then the second part of the Scepter updates are going to be changing the tether. Tether is no longer an upkeep skill. It is a fixed duration skill that, similarly to the two, will no longer charge up with auto attacks, but it will just charge up over time, scaling like that. And then at the very end of the tether, you'll get access to the port or the pull based on what you have.
Okay, that's
there are some
pretty
balance
fun.
updates to all the numbers on it, which will come up on the screen. You guys can read those.
Whoa, you
The
just
LDR
slow them
is The
forever.
auto attack was like really good, and we made it not as good. But skills are still good. Yay.
Nice.
Excellent summary.
Indeed.
It's-
Excellent summary indeed. All right. A couple more notes there. Just pausing to let people screenshot. These notes will, of course, be eventually on
So
forum.
the notes for the QR2 weapons will not be part of the balance preview. These will be shown off in the final release notes when those go live. But feel free to, as Roy said, screenshot, watch the file.
wow, doesn't require an upkeep cost, which is huge.
Obviously, these weapons are not coming with the March balance patch that we just previewed. They're coming with the QR2 launch, so they'll be out sooner. We're just showing off the changes now, and we can move on to Mesmer Rifle.
Wait,
Taylor, if you
not
want to
March. It's like
also
before
talk a
March,
little bit
right?
about that.
Main, take it away.
I have no idea.
A lot of these are just
missed-
number adjustments. The numbers were pretty high on the weapon, so they went down. But a lot of usability improvements for the 2 and the 3 to hopefully be more snappy and supportive when you want them to be. And then the bigger change to
Yeah, God
Phantasmal
King.
Sharpshooter. In PvE, it's 2
Never
charges.
touched it.
And everywhere, it's going to hit a radius impact to stun AoE. So hopefully be a better crowd control tool and more liberal usage than PvE.
All right.
What
Very cool.
more can you tell us?
Okay.
Did you make any good jokes about this in the blog post?
I don't know if I
Any
did.
good- Any good?
It got
voice
cut
crack?
by editing, so I can't say it on stream. But
Sounds
yeah,
so
this is
important.
similarly number adjustments. Nothing crazy here. They're all going to work the same. The bigger one is the visual effect on the portal kind of does like a flash bang, like, please look at me, please take me. I exist for a reason, don't ignore me. When the portal gets opened.
Okay.
Wow.
Very good.
That's cool. Cool stuff.
We'll be moving on to
Yes.
Warrior Staff. We'll show this off a little bit in game. Cal, if you want to talk a
A
little bit
warning
about
effect to
staff
the
changes.
enemies? That's lame.
So I think the big update here is going to be the change to Line Breaker, the 3 skill. This is something that had ally targeting behavior before. It was very difficult to use effectively. So we just made it ground targeted, kind of similar to like Druid Staff, where you're like
Oh, he's a naked
obviously don't become a
warrior.
wisp here. We thought about it, but now you just run to a location.
Okay,
and
I
do
like
the
that.
Final like
I like that.
roar that causes you to give all the bonuses it did before. So still available as that long distance.
They should
movement
add
skill.
stability for that
If you
movement,
press
by the
this,
way.
like, right next to yourself,
Because if you get
such that you're not
stopped,
gonna need to move, it will just not bother moving and just use the skill, the final skill immediately. So that's still a little too close. We can tune that number a little bit too. But cast it close to yourself, it'll just fire off.
yeah, give it
that
stability
movement
so you
skill
don't get
immediately, so
automatically
brings it at
CC'd
your
out of
first
it. Like,
We've also
I'll just CC
added
people out of
a
that.
little bit of adrenaline to the kit because
Yeah, it needed
was a
adrenaline
little
bad.
bit too hard
Really
to
bad.
generate adrenaline on the support builds. So we'll see that Valiant Leap skill 2 and also
Wait, why is there
Final
3?
Roar
Why is there
skill
3
5
bars, by
are
the
gonna
way?
grant some adrenaline.
It's probably
You're not
Core
gonna see
Warrior.
it here in Roy's demonstration because it's going
Yeah,
to
it is.
grant you adrenaline if you affect another ally. It's not just going to say.
I haven't touched the
use
Core
it,
Warrior in
so
so long. That's
go in
how
and
you know I
attack
forgot.
somebody to give you extra adrenaline, but if you are supporting your allies, it will give you some bonus adrenaline there.
Nice.
We've also added a little bit of a warm up to skill 4,
Very cool.
warm up effect, so that enemies can see this a little bit better. Fear not, this is not visible to your allies. It's just visible to you, the player, and all of your enemies. You can kind of see the attack radius coming in. And then, like I said, the note to Defiant Roar is that the skill will grant you a little bit of adrenaline, plus bonus adrenaline per blocked attack. So as it scales with healing, it will also scale.
Why would they show the radius to the enemy?
Yeah,
Is it
that's
that much
lame,
of an
bro.
issue?
No, it's
We
not.
also fixed a really annoying bug with the block itself, where it would just always interrupt when auto attack was enabled. So it should
Yeah.
actually work now.
Good.
Much that should hopefully make everyone
Those are good changes.
we
except
did
for
also
that
reduce
3.
the damage of the burst skill in competitive modes because it was just a bit too high for a support weapon.
Wow. Okay, that's lame.
Yeah.
All right, Guardian
You can have everything.
pistols.
I'm mad. I'm mad.
Pistols with a S. 2 if
Yes,
if you're
multiple
counting.
pistols.
Indeed. Taylor.
It looks like some additional notes got added to this that were bug fixes coming in the next patch.
Guardian
so you can read them
pistols,
if you
huh?
want. They're not of note. But pistols by themselves, pretty good weapon. Landed pretty well. But we just want to make sure it's
I'm
competitive,
relaxing now,
especially
bro.
the offhand and
Leaning
PvE,
back.
so seeing some number adjustments.
Chilling.
And the 5 is going to charge faster, and also you can reactivate it faster, so you can hit people in melee range more reliably. But other than that, this weapon landed pretty well. Always going to keep our eye on it, of course, but nothing big changing with it.
Yeah, really, the biggest change we made for pistols was reworking the torch trait
Yeah.
because it makes it less mandatory to have multiple torches equipped on your Condi Guard builds.
All right, very good. Ranger maces. Taylor, you can also talk about that one if you like.
Taylor's going to be talking for a little while, I think.
Yep.
Anything interesting, particularly about Ranger, Taylor? Does it do anything to you?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Does it possibly make you
Uh-oh.
larger?
What? What?
What?
Whoa! Pause.
Larger, more
Pause.
Who
gonna
doesn't
wait to
love
see where you
that?
go with this. Okay, that was an interesting setup. Anyways,
Hello?
Cloak and
Roy's
Codral.
doing his own thing. Don't worry about it.
Cloak Skin Cudgel is now going to give a heal over time effect, kind of, all the main hands, 2 hands, except for Hammer, of course, has
Musketeer
a tie-in as a
West?
pet, so we're going to add one
What
for
does he
maces.
mean by
It's gonna apply
larger?
heal over time effect. Heal over
I
time
don't
is going to
know.
be interesting.
Maybe it's
gonna
pumping
use
it up.
even more Astral Force when you use it as a druid. The effect is lessened when you're a soul
This
beast,
is
because
a
we want to make
Kappa
sure that it's
stream,
not
fam.
like crazy good. But we will be, bouncing around that as well. Wild Strikes getting damage reduction and daze reduction in PvP. In World v World, the damage on the skill was quite frankly crazy. But the
Rampant
good
regrowth
news
makes
is
your
now
character
that you're
larger,
going to
like
be growing
warrior
bigger more, as Roy mentioned.
Oh,
and
Oh!
we're shifting the power
God,
of the
bro.
weapon into
I
that
have-
aspect of it. So it's that you're not going to hit as hard, but you're going to hit hard. Like you're going to do it more, basically.
gonna
with
hit-
cooldown reduction and everything.
My mind,
So,
bro. My
looks
mind
like
is
a nerf,
gone.
but in reality,
I'm-
we're hoping it's going to shake up to be. what it was. Yeah.
For anyone who's
I'm
confused,
corrupted.
you should
Oh,
read
no.
the
I'm corrupted.
Crafted blog post that a Mr. Taylor Brooks made, posted to our website on Wednesday. But yes,
What's not to love?
I don't know. I don't. I honestly
Nope.
couldn't tell you.
Someone's getting fired.
Do you not
Anyways.
increase the grow big size? That seems like a pretty big oversight.
Yeah, we
Can
might
we grow
do
bigger?
that. Yeah. Might
What
do
if we were
that
10
every
times
balance
bigger? Oh,
patch.
oh
just
my God.
Increase it 1% every time.
I'm
I hope
just.
so.
Similarly, we're seeing the changes that, I was talking about, make it grow bigger. Nation
Oh,
Strings
oh.
is going to last longer, so if you swap weapons and swap back, you won't lose all your stacks, hopefully, if you're, doing your rotation and everything, as well as number of stacks from 6 to 5, so if you just hit all your buttons, you're going to get it immediately. No more waiting for that next cooldown. Because it is getting a lot easier to use, we are reducing the damage bonuses in competitive modes preemptively. It wasn't really a problem in the beta, but that's because no one, hit it at all. So now hopefully people hit it, and damage bonus is going to be a more sane number, as well as the bug
Basically just
fixes
said,
that
like,
we
everyone in the
made
beta
these
sucked.
notes. Yay.
Wow.
Yay! All right.
Yay.
Necromancer swords. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to call on you one more time, Taylor.
Yes.
But
Taylor's
well,
just-
it's really not that unfortunate because I think you love talking about these weapons. So yes,
yeah.
please, and we'll show these off in a moment.
As a
Um,
necro main myself,
I'm not sure if you can
means a
really
lot to
claim
me.
that title. I was more just talking
Uh,
about your love for the names of the skills, but
you're going to see a lot of notes for Necromancer Sword, and they
are
all
a lot.
mean that they're going to happen faster and they do more damage. So nothing is of note. The changes are going to be more apparent when you get in the game and play with it.
what if you just read the names of the skills though?
Gorge.
Actually, when we go in game,
Correct
you can
skill.
do that.
Path of
I
Gluttony.
think the good skill is on the next slide.
The good. skill.
Yeah, this is more
all
of the
good.
same damage things working
Yeah,
better.
You can look at
Path
these.
of Gluttony now leap
game a little
finisher. Yay.
So you can see
Wow,
those
it's
coming
so
real fast.
fast.
Wow.
That's kinda cool.
Whoa. That's crazy.
I like the ski. I like his
But basically,
enthusiasm.
the big change that actually matters to everyone is the 5 skill got reworked. You see Roy just used it there. You're basically going to throw out an orb that explodes, fearing people, and then the reactivate ability is to drain the
Consume?
strength of enemies hit, which will give them weakness and you might, as well as it'll give them a little like life leech effect, kind of like we see on Dagger 2 or Core Shroud 4.
Just mousing over some skills. As some people have noted, we are not showing every single weapon off. These are going to be out in a little over a week at this point, so you'll be able to see them all yourself. We wanted to show off the ones that were receiving some of the more major reworks or changes or updates. But they'll be seen in game very shortly. So that's gonna be Necro Sword. Can start moving on to Thief Axe. Cal, do you want to talk about this one?
Yeah, so Thief Axe, a lot of bug fixes for Thief Axe. There's a lot of traits that didn't interact properly. Also, some projectile behavior problems where some of these kills were a little bit more
Short bow
difficult to hit
NG.
than we may have
Yeah,
wanted.
they didn't talk about. Maybe they're going by the.
So we've cleaned up a lot of the
Yeah.
projectile behavior.
Maybe it's
They're
last.
not
and
going.
also
No.
Cleaned up like
Maybe alphabetical
this-
order of
you
the.
see the note here. Yes.
They would have hit
What?
S
The
already.
No.
offhand dual wield skill to
I don't
also
know.
recall
don't
axes
know.
at the target instead of at yourself. It's still going to port in, but the axes will.
Maybe they're just
aim
doing
at
it
the
in
target
random
instead of
order
yourself,
this
so
time.
it's just a little bit more.
Maybe they don't
usable.
care.
A lot of
Yeah.
usability improvements for axe because obviously it did a ton of damage during the beta.
No, why is Roy wearing a hoodie, man? I thought he'd be wearing the
feedback we
shirt.
got is
You know.
that there's just a lot of clunkiness with
Maybe he's
the
cold,
Just
skills
saying.
or the projectiles or
I'm
any of
just
those
saying.
things. So that was our main focus.
Is it cold in
And
Seattle
then,
right now?
we
Yeah.
buffed the damage a lot.
Oh, it's
Ah.
snowing.
Maybe because it maybe did a little.
Cal's
just a
not
little
wearing
bit too much
anything.
damage.
CMC's
Not that
wearing
much,
just a
though.
shirt.
He's an Eskimo.
Minor adjustments, and that's with like multiple traits not working properly. So
He's also
Those,
like
minus
soulless.
20% damage modifiers.
think of what could have been.
Maybe that's why, because he drinks a
Could've
lot of
hit
water,
70K.
so he can maintain.
True.
Maybe we
So
will. Who knows?
hopefully a little bit more back to earth with the EFAX damage. Not
Your
much else to
sewer
say there.
pipe is broken.
Just,
That can't be
everyone's
good.
Pausing again.
Oh, and
to-
apparently we fixed a bug with preparation skills. That's not related to EFAX. That's a
Wow.
good change.
That is a good change.
Reduce the poison duration to
Alright.
3 and this is
Let me
PvE.
do this one.
I think we did this one.
Wow. They're going.
But we
That,
just
here it
got
is.
laser Rifle. It portaled to the end of the end of the.
Ah,
power.
there you go.
That's funny because
NG shortbow.
All right, but here we go. Engineer Shortbow, the moment everyone has been waiting for. A lot of reworks for this one. You can
Shortbow's
lead
a
us
trash
off with it if
weapon,
you like.
except on thief.
Yeah, I will note that we might have done the bit where we forgot the class, except we literally did it with Elementalist. So if Cal wants to speedrun
Wow.
in his head,
They forgot Ellie.
There's no Ellie notes.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, it got some good buffs. Who cares though now about
Let's see.
Ellie?
What did we do off the top of my head? That's
Wow.
Luckily, we didn't do that much for Ellie. but a lot of-
There's really only one note that needed to be in here, and that was the piercing pebble change.
Bro, they forgot
yes,
Ellie.
Piercing Pebble now pierces. That's a good one.
Piercing Pebble now
Glacial
pierces.
Shot is now named
What a scuff
Frozen
stream.
Fusillade. And Elemental Unload is now Elemental Explosion, so that now there's alliteration. on every skill.
Pickle says information overload in it. Here comes fucking
Slightly
CMC
more serious,
recalling
we
it.
did update a few of the animations to be a little bit more
From memory.
casting feeling. Like instead of just I shoot my pistol, I shoot my pistol, I shoot my pistol. There's some where we're gonna be like throwing
I
projectiles
shoot my
or
pistol.
casting projectiles instead of just a bunch of shoot animations over and over and over. And there's probably some good changes in there too, but Roy didn't put them in the PowerPoint, so that's really unfortunate.
If only someone had reviewed it.
It's okay. It's okay.
Damn.
Oh, dude, that's
I'll
embarrassing.
go look them up right now. We can come back.
Okay.
Engineer Shortbow. This weapon had a bit of a facelift, quite reworked from when you guys last saw it. It'll all make more
He's
sense.
actually
when we
looking
go
for
in
them.
game and
No,
show it off,
yeah,
but
yeah. Pickles needs to read more
basically,
books, bro.
Almost every skill was touched. The new mechanic for chaining is
Can't be
going to
brain
be
dead.
when you shoot an arrow, it'll land.
We haven't
before
even
it
been here
shoots
for,
off any
like,
arrow. You will see there is a white field under it,
It's like
and
2
your
hours.
next arrow that lands in that field will inherit an additional effect based on the arrow that last did it. Those are all listed in the tooltips, so if Roy wants to
We'll
hover
read-
over
yes,
those,
it will
people
help
can
your
read them.
brain
The
function.
2 skill will make it grant might. The 3 skill will make it cleanse conditions. The 4
Your brain
skill
is a
will make
muscle.
give
It needs to be
additional
worked out
protection,
just like any other
and
muscle in your
5
body if
skill
you want to
will
keep
make
it strong
daze.
and make the endurance last longer.
So a lot of the skills have been reworked. The 2 skill, for instance, is now going to give barrier and might. They all explode instantly. There's no putting it down and then detonating it. It's you press it, it lands, it does its effect. So that's pretty good. The 3 skill is going to be a heal and condition cleanse when it lands, and it's also going to leave a pulsing dark field that will heal some more. So you're going to get a lot of that heal up front, but also some heal if you stay in it. And then the 4th skill is going to give Aegis and protection, as well as a fire field. It's going to be a pretty big radius, as you can see. It fires multiple arrows that land and explode.
That's why I still
And
read
then
books
the
to
5
this
skill
day.
is going to be that stun, as well as super speed, as well as a blast finisher, a lot of things. And it's going to be a different shape than the rest of them. It's going to kind of fire a row of arrows as it lands, 1, 2, 3. So it'll be kind of like a rectangular hitbox deal to kind of stun enemies that are farther away.
I still hate the idea of an
Very
NG
good.
short bow,
Yeah, so obviously
just for lore purposes.
very focused on usability improvements, and there's been like some pretty significant mechanical reworks.
Yeah, I
but
mean, I think they gave up on
the
that
big
now.
thing is making
All
Shortbow
out of the
feel
box,
like
man. Cat's
a
out
lot
of the
more
box.
fluid to play and a lot more understandable to play. I think was the main goal. So would you agree, Taylor?
Yep, for sure. Shortbow was pretty ambitious, but in real
they,
gameplay, it was
found the
very
engine note-
clunky,
any
and,
notes.
you know, we want our game to be moment-to-moment gameplay, and Shortbow just really didn't support that with what we wanted to do. So we made a
Gunblade,
big
yeah.
focus in making
Bladesworn should have
skills
been an
feel more
engineer.
fluid to use, as well
I
as
agree.
have reasonable radius for their effects like other support weapons.
All right. I think that'll about wrap it up. Unless, did you have any notes you wanted to share with Elementalist, Cal?
I mean, it's mostly pretty minor stuff. Like a lot of the feedback we did get during the beta was about like just how samey all the visuals felt. So that was like one of our.
I can
larger
tell
initiatives for,
Tamale is really
the updates,
like
but we did
salty
end up,
about the Gunblade going to
nerfing
Warrior,
Binge a
not
little bit
NG.
'cause it was a bit high as well. But then also some usability, or not usability, but visual clarity improvements for like when you have a bullet that's going to be displayed on your buff bar now. Mounting and dismounting is not going to remove all your bullets forever anymore. They will come back once you are dismounted. There's some minor cast time reductions and stuff like that. But really no like major massive changes for LE Pistol.
Very good. Yeah, that's actually going to wrap up the preview. It's going to be everything we wanted to show. As the first sort of part of that was the balance patch preview notes for March. Again, those notes will be posted to the forum after the stream ends. The notes you saw for the updates to the weapons will not be posted on the forums right after the stream. Again, that's going to be coming out in QR2, so that's going to be before the March update actually happens, the balance patch. And you'll be able to get your hands on the weapons, updates and all, very soon. But yeah, obviously, thank you all for watching. As always, please send your feedback to us through the forums, through various other outlets. Taylor, as displayed on the stream, loves reading Twitch chats, so I'm sure he'll be in there hanging out. And yeah, we, as mentioned as well at the beginning of the stream, we will be heading over to
Dude, Jebro caught a fucking bag right there with them.
Jebro Unity. I think he was actually hanging out in stream. We'll be doing a little bit of a podcast with him, talking about some of the new weapons.
I need to start
yeah.
leveraging my Arena Partners status.
Be,
You know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure why you don't.
Because I'm lazy.
We don't know yet.
Yeah.
But either way, Cal and Taylor, any final thoughts for the stream?
Why don't you go first, Taylor?
Please. I could never.
Taylor, can you get your dog to come on camera now that we're wrapping up?
Your dog isn't prettier than my dog. I'm sorry.
Now that we have our 20-minute outro.
Oh.
Yeah, we still have
Wait.
plenty of time before
Where's my
the
picture?
podcast
Where's my
starts,
picture?
So we could probably just sit here talking for a
Hold
little bit.
on. I'm gonna move it
Do
here.
you have any
What?
good news? Valentine's Day was a couple days ago.
Why am I blurry?
So I know it wasn't in this PowerPoint like it was last year.
Oh, you said you want to see a dog?
Valentine's Day, everyone.
Come here, Chloe.
I was alone again.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, look at Chloe with her dress.
Yeah, well, that's unfortunate.
All right, you
little
guys
heart
should probably
dress.
just wrap up the stream. Like you should say
Are
your,
we
your
wrapping
final
up the
thoughts.
stream?
I woke her up,
I
bro.
guess
I will.
Yeah, as
go for
always,
it.
gamers. I'll see
No,
you in the mist.
Cat
it's
Ranger,
not-
unless scrapped IBS
know.
story.
You have any final thoughts, Taylor?
Spectre Rev.
Great.
No.
Okay, thanks for being here.
That's very
Cal?
true.
Yeah, obviously, thanks to everyone who puts up with our nonsense.
There's no nonsense.
Not much else to say.
I'm gonna be Roy's Valentine.
Can't you be? What about me? What about Chloe? Chloe needs a Valentine.
Sorry, Roy, bro.
Oh, well, unfortunately. Unfortunate for Chloe. They make awkward streams. I think it's like awkwardly funny though. Like it's not a bad awkward. It's actually,
Yeah, I agree. It's a good vibe.
yeah. And well, I guess, what are your thoughts? So I always love, maybe we can just talk about like the analysis of what do you think overall about this patch that's coming out?
Yeah, it's actually okay. Well, I mean, you probably love it, Warrior and everything. Like there was nothing of significance for me, to be honest, though.
Well, yeah, there are some good changes in it. Like the Warrior one is gonna be the big one for me. Like
NG,
the Berserker,
NG though.
but it wasn't like game changing. So like I personally don't think it's gonna change anything like meta wise for like
No.
Berserker, right? Like Power Berserker probably would be played more, but it's not gonna be a class that you're gonna swap out for any of the current like other classes in the meta, because like DH is still really strong. Like there's the Revenant spec, the Vindicator, the Greatsword Vindicator right now is really really strong as well. So yeah, there's like a lot of strong classes, but it will still allow me, like in terms of ranked gameplay, like yeah, I could probably have more fun now on a power berserker, because my biggest gripe with warrior is there's a limited amount of builds that you can play in PvP. Like there's a lot of builds you can play with other classes, like rangers for example. Like you can still play druid, untamed. Like I've seen people still play like core ranger, and they all work, but with warrior it's not that, like they're very underwhelming. So seeing these balance changes are, in my opinion, they're going to be really good for my class at least. And yeah, the renegade ones, I don't know where they were going with that, to be honest. I feel like it was more like a nerf than anything. Fresh Air Ellie seemed pretty nice. I like that they buffed the super speed by like a second and a half. It's going to be as fast as a thief now without having portals. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's some nice minor tweaks that they've done here. It's not, like you said, it's not something fully, wait, how can I teleport these guys? It's not something like you said, game changing, but there are some nice outliers in this slight buff here. You got the NG, you got, well, I think Warrior's actually the biggest winner here.
I think Mesmer, to be honest, like World v World Mesmer is a really big one.
All right, yeah, Mesmer, true.
Yeah, removing.
Oh, what's up, Lord Fitna?
Basically deleting, or not deleting it, but like making it not so OP is. I don't mind that like classes are strong. I don't like them feeling invincible. You know, where it's just like no matter how well I play against them, like they're just gonna be able to beat me because of their build, like that, and their stats, and that's what really like drives me away from World versus World, is that you'll get like a full celestial Mesmer that can just do PvE rotations and keep 90% HP the whole time. It becomes, and even if I like try to, all right, I'll bait out, I'll wait for the invulns to pop, I'll like wait for both dodges to roll. It's like, okay, now I still have to deal with like the resets and the stun breaks and the alacrity, which the alacrity was a big issue, you know, because like you could never out DPS alacrity when they could upkeep it so long.
Yeah.
Warriors definitely, Tamale, they needed big nerfs. Like I said earlier, dude, I forgot core warrior existed because I've only been playing Spellbreaker and Berserker. And I like core warrior, but it's very linear. It's like it's a basic, you know, it's a basic mechanic. You attack, you gain adrenaline, and then you use your F1 skills. Right?
I mean, yeah.
You have an issue with the staff for PvE? Uh-oh. Deadeye nerfs too. That's nice, because like I said, I like that Deadeye is becoming more glassy and less survivable.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing with it. Like a class like that should be able to deal a lot of damage and basically like take you out, but then it should be pretty much squishy.
Yeah, like basically, if I can lock a Deadeye down, I should be able to kill it in 3 hits.
Yeah, like that should be the takeaway for like the fact that I kick down you in like 2 hits, is that it could also die in 2 hits.
Yep. Yeah, well, and that's another thing too. Okay, so like, you don't really like the Druid gaming, right?
No, I don't care about Druid anyway.
Yeah, could you imagine if Druid was the only viable spec for Ranger?
I'd hate it.
Yeah, so can you imagine like what I mean by like Warrior being basically only 2 specs viable?
Yeah, you don't have it easy, huh?
Nope. You
Sounds
know,
like the
snake for
whole
follow.
yeah,
if you had to play Druid, I'm pretty sure you'd quit the game.
yeah. I it's like very, to me it's out of the question. I don't enjoy that spec at all.
It took me a long time to get like over the fact that I had to play a Condi Berserker. And the only reason I do play it is because I actually like how it feels to play. Because you actually have to land your F1 on Mace in order to do good damage But I think the support warrior isn't gonna be. I still don't feel like it doesn't have a place. I always felt like what it should be is an off support to a main, because the Guardian, unless they remove some of the stability that Guardian can give to its teammates, I don't think it'll ever be replaced. Because you see Firebrand is meta now for PvP as a support, which is still a Guardian spec, right? But if they nerfed cooldowns for that, like it would be the only way warrior would be viable as support, in my opinion. The warrior's not going to be able to support better than a Firebrand or a Guardian, unfortunately. So like an off support / side node, like that'd be a cool hybrid to see, but you probably won't see that.
But you play it like that anyway. Like that's literally how you play.
Well, the problem is that they nerfed the staff, bro. Like they nerfed the damage. I wouldn't mind being a off support as a staff warrior. If anything, I wish it would be like kind of like how staff druid used to be. I don't know, man. I do want that though. Dude, you know what's crazy is that during this stream, I didn't even realize it, but I think I've done this is my 3rd map that I've completed.
Oh damn! Like you were pumping.
Yeah, I didn't.
Wait, were you actually like playing while watching the stream?
And no, like I was in like 50% of it, but only when they were talking about the weapons, because I didn't really understand too much of like what they were talking about. I haven't played the beta enough for the new weapon changes, but I was paying attention for the balance for the actual specs, because that's what I can clearly talk about and say, you know, when Echo and I finalize this working contract, you know, where he becomes an assistant helping me edit these videos, and then we can definitely make that like the thing. I love the names, right? Like Tamale says, I love big pumping. You know?
Pump it up.
Yeah, pump it up. They need to play that you remember that Joe Budden song? Pump
Oh, yeah,
pump
yeah.
it up. Like that needs to be like what the thief says every time he uses that skill or whatever.
I mean, yeah.
Or whatever it pops.
They can play the Black Eyed Peas, pump it louder.
Yeah, that's a good one too. What was the other one? Carnivore. I'm like, that's a very interesting skill name.
Yeah, for a druid as well.
Yeah.
That sounds like an untamed.
And there was one more, bro. There was one more that they said that I was so like lost as to how they named it. So, I mean, honestly, this only means one thing though, is we need to do Road to Plat.
We need to do a what?
Road to Plat.
A road to plat?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Why not, bro?
Does anyone even still play PvP anymore?
It's not like that dead. Like people, yes, they still play PvP. Oh, like the same amount of people. It's not changed.
Fair enough.
Same 10 people exactly. You have a dedicated PvP audience, bro. They will never not play PvP. I think the only people that really left are those who like had families. Or people who just were okay with trying to be better at like another game. Because I see the leaderboards, it's always like the same ones. Dude, I think I'm gonna like finish this map and then I might do some PvP because I'm amped, you know?
You're pumped, huh?
Yeah, dude, I'm big pump it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of those changes, like the great sword quality of life change, just definitely like Cal said, like 11 years overdue. I'm supposed to like answer. Oh my god, I don't want to read. All right, hear the story. Let's see. Almora was a tribune in the Blood Legion warband. Didn't she get corrupted?
Almora.
Yeah.
Did she get corrupted? Who knows?
Let's
Oh,
see.
yeah, I guess she did. Yeah.
Who is Almora? I forgot. Was she the Blood Legion?
Almora was the vigil.
She was a tribune
leader. She was the
and
vigil leader.
She.
Almora soul keeper.
They were escorting a caravan, and then they got corrupted.
Some respect on her name.
She died.
Yes.
Damn, this is stupid. She was a tribune of the Blood Legion, patrolling. Oh, she founded the vigil.
Are you gonna participate in my fashion show tomorrow?
Dude, it depends. What time is the fashion show?
So I start at
Yeah, Big Papa Pump.
Big Papa. Yes. Is that a wrestler?
Big Papa is a wrestler.
Yes. Scott Steiner. Yes, the guy with the sunglasses.
Thank God.
Yeah. So we start stream. You know when we start stream? We start stream at 9 a.m. PST, and then we will do about 2.5 hours, maybe 2 hours with EU. Yeah, 2 hours EU, and then after those 2 hours, we move on to NAs. So I imagine we'll be in NA at around, let's say, 1 p.m. PST.
PST, 3 p.m. maybe. So let me walk you through my day, right? So I told Kara I would go look for paint for her so we could paint our house. And if I don't do that, then I'm gonna be on a milk carton. So
Okay.
and then I also, what was I gonna do? I'm gonna, for her Valentine's Day gift, I'm getting her car windows tinted. I know, romantic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, very romantic.
Yeah. I mean, if it's something she needs, then that's great.
Yeah, it is something she needs.
Why don't you and Kara both participate? Because tomorrow's fashion show is a group contest. So you need to be a minimum of 2 people a team, up to 4 people max. So you guys should just partner up together.
Partner up?
Yeah.
All right, well, maybe. I'll talk to her when she gets home from work today.
Yeah, tell her, like, yo, let's win this fashion show.
Damn, dude. I think I might just, like, buy 100 keys right now and gamble. I don't know. I'm feeling lucky.
Your partner, you shouldn't promote that kind of
Don't, you're
maybe
not
you
beating
should
us.
promote.
Tamale has a partner though. I apparently he's gonna beat me.
He's got a partner now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tamale's gonna beat me. He seems like he's like super he's like he's well put together. It's like this is his cosplay contest that he invested, 150 hours into.
Yeah.
How am I gonna beat that, bro? I have literally 12 hours. Or 24 hours, I'm sorry.
How do you even count that?
Oh
Yo,
wow.
Heisen, you've been cooking, huh? Heisen's been cooking. What you been cooking? The game's too loud? Wait, what? Game's too loud. Volume mixer. What is Galore's 2 set on? Oh, there we go.
Maybe I should PvP with him, I don't know. Not right now.
Well, I gotta go soon, man. So
Tamale's part of a poly group, like polyamorous.
send me whatever the latest build is.
All right, who am I fighting? Oh, I forgot. I played in EU the other day, and now I'm back on NA.
By the way, who you want to win?
All right, what do I play, guys? I said warrior, so maybe I should play revenant. He is a fresh air Ellie. Wait, do they have a thief? No. I'm gonna play Revenant. We're gonna go some
Who do you
K-pop.
want to win? Anthony Joshua or Francis Ngannou?
So where's your girlfriend? That's cute. Francis Ngannou. I need a drink, dude. Like, not an alcoholic. I need another energy drink. I'm on my
Bang